It was a memorable and successful senior night in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Mario Blessing, Fred Miller, and Ty Green were sent off in style. A regular season ending victory, at least at home. They have one more regular season game on the road field, but they pull away from Lipscomb down the stretch. And in winning this final scheduled regular season home game, they punched their ticket into the ASUN tournament with a third seed, which is going to assure them a home game here in the first round.
Kind of a jumbled game at times, looked just kind of jagged, but Upstate did what they had to do. And one of the real hallmarks of this Upstate team, Jason, has been their defense. It bore fruit again tonight, holding another opponent. Lipscomb tonight under 50 points, just 47 for the Bisons.
You mentioned some numbers. Let's take a look at the numbers overall from this basketball game, give you a sense of how the Spartans came away with the 70-47 win, avenging a loss to Lipscomb on the road in the Music City a little earlier this season by shooting much better. Free throw percentage was a concern early, but they hit some down the stretch and improved that number. Overall, what else jumps out at you off the numbers, Phil?
Well, I think just Lipscomb, I think Upstate's defense deserves a lot of credit, but maybe just as big as that was Lipscomb's just inability to get the ball to go in. Had a lot of good looks right around the basket, and then on top of that, they couldn't get any perimeter shots to go in.
Whatever the case, they were limited to just 47 points. Ninth time this season, Upstate has held an opponent under 50, as you mentioned, and 70, the final point total for the Spartans. Let's look at how this affects the Atlantic Sun Conference standings, give you a visual on it. As we mentioned, this all but secures the third seed for USC Upstate. As you can see, neither Lipscomb or Northern Kentucky can get to them with one game remaining in the conference season. They also are not going to be able to reach Florida Gulf Coast or North Florida, who are battling it out in South Florida for the conference championship tonight. So Upstate in that 3 seed with a home game next Tuesday night.
Now, third time in 4 years that Upstate has been the 3 seed in the ASUN tournament, and it's not just big that you're one of those upper seeds, but that you get a home game. We've harped on it so much. So the way we read it, the way we interpret those standings and all those matchups is Upstate has locked up not only a home game, but a 3 seed for next week's ASUN tournament.
That's the way the numbers look. We keep saying we think or we see, because you never want to say anything until you get final confirmation from the conference office, but everything standings-wise seems to shake Upstate into that third slot. Let's take a look back at how they reached that third spot in the ASUN Conference. Here's the highlights from the game. You're going to see a whole lot of the 3 seniors, Blessing, Miller, and Green, and there's number 5 to get us started on the highlights.
Yeah, tough, gritty performance by him, by Ty Green. Another 20-plus point performance tonight. And then the kind of the close, a very close proximity basket starting to go in as Schulte cuts diagonally into the lane. And then Upstate got the perimeter game going as well. So always want to get a win on senior night, and then you couple that in, and everything kind of comes together. Just a great overall performance for Upstate. Maybe don't like the foul shooting, but Miller with the tomahawk highlight dunk there.
Well, was that the exclamation point on senior night or what? And then Miller dumps it off in the corner, a solid pass to Blessing, and he makes his way into the scorebook so that all 3 seniors both have impact and score in this basketball game.
Yeah, love to see Blessing get his name in the scorebook before we end up. And I'll tell you, Jason, the one guy that we probably didn't focus on much tonight because, well, he wasn't a senior, Shunquest Stevens, 15 points again for him. How nice has it been to see him step up and offer double-digit point outputs as we get late in this calendar year, conference year.
And there is a big hand for Ty Green. Same thing happened for Mario Blessing and Fred Miller as they left the floor here on the final time on senior night. It will not be the final time. As we've already said, they will have a home game here in the ASUN Conference Tournament. But all in all, Phil, big win for the Spartans. They get contributions from their 3 key seniors, and it is a memorable senior night in the Hodge Center. We encourage you to join us as the women will honor their seniors on Saturday. It's an afternoon tip. Tom Van Oy will have the play-by-play call for you on ESPN3 alongside Aaron Cox, and we encourage you to be a part of that. Center Court was released earlier tonight. It has Eddie Payne, Tammy George, both giving their thoughts on the last week or so of basketball action and how they feel heading in to the conference tournament that is just around the corner. You're going to make sure you catch up with that and everything related to Upstate basketball on UpstateSpartans.com. For Phil Cox and all our crew, thanks for joining us. Happy senior night in Spartanburg. Snow falling outside, warm hearts inside as Upstate wins it 70-47. We're here to celebrate 3 young men who have warmed our hearts and set this building afire for the last 4 years that they've been on campus. It's truly going to be a pleasure to honor 3 great seniors
who meant so much to the development and rise of Upstate's men's basketball program. Let's think for just a moment on what they've accomplished during their time here on campus. After tonight's victory, and it was another victory in their storied career, they are just one win away from averaging 20 wins per season. They have played in 2 postseason tournaments, and a third is still a very real possibility. They have handed this university its first 4 wins over ACC and SEC opponents across the last 2 years. And the leadership qualities that this trio of seniors has developed and demonstrated have put Upstate in position to set the season wins record in the Division I era this season. As a result, these 3 young men will graduate as the winningest senior class in the Division I history of Upstate men's basketball. Their impact has been so great, and their accomplishments have been so many, that I'm going to have to actually read their bios to you to make sure that we don't miss anything they've done while they're here on campus. So here's a look back at the careers of these 3 seniors, as they have been perfectly written by our outstanding men's basketball SID, Jay DeBrano. Our first senior embodies the true meaning of the word student athlete. This individual has excelled on the court and in the classroom since his arrival on campus in 2011. He has served as the Spartans' starting point guard for 4 consecutive seasons and has been one of the most consistent players to ever wear an Upstate uniform. The Spartans, along with his statistical achievements, have seen him bring a defensive tenacity and toughness that has helped Upstate become one of the top defensive teams in the country this year. As the Spartans have held 14 teams, and now you can make it 15, to fewer than 60 points, and 6 teams under 50 points on the year. His willingness to work on improving his game outside the team practices demonstrates his leadership qualities and intangibles that are found only in players who truly have the dedication and commitment to succeed. He is scheduled to graduate in May with a degree in finance and economics and will finish his athletic career as the all-time winningest player in Upstate's D1 era. He is escorted by David and Debbie Green. Ladies and gentlemen, number 31, Mario Blessing. And in a special touch for Mario, please direct your attention to the video board for a surprise message for this particular senior.
Also, Mario, ich wünsche dir heute Abend einen schönen Abend. Ich freue mich, dich bald wieder zu sehen. Genieß die Seniors Night. Viel Glück für heute Abend. Und let's go, Spartans!
Hallo, ganz liebe Grüße von mir. Und ich wünsche euch einen ganz, ganz schönen Abend. Und wir sehen uns ja bald. Mach's gut.
Lieber Mario, schade, dass wir heute bei deiner Siegesnight nicht dabei sein können. Wir wünschen dir auch einen tollen Abend und ein tolles Spiel und wir freuen uns auf dich, wenn wir kommen.
Danke an allen, die dich begleitet und unterstützt haben. Danke dem Team, den Trainern und Debbie und Gabe. Wir wünschen euch allen viel Erfolg, macht's gut.
Bis Mai, wir kommen bald. Ciao.
Mario's parents are also Skyping live right now on the phone that Tristan has in his hand. So let's let them hear one more time how much we appreciate number 31. Our next senior has worked tirelessly to improve his game. And as a result of his hard work, he has seen a rise in points, rebounds, assists, and shooting percentage in each and every one of his 4 seasons here in Spartanburg. He entered the starting lineup midway through his junior year and has been a mainstay in the upstate backcourt ever since. His development as a point guard has allowed him to become one of the top distributors in the Atlantic Sun Conference. And he finished last season 7th in the conference in assists, which included a 5-game stretch where he averaged over 6 assists per contest. He has continued to improve his game throughout his senior season and has evolved into one of the most complete point guards in the conference. He is ranked 2nd in the A-Sun in both assists and steals and is among the top 12 scorers in the league. And I'll add that dunk he had a little bit ago was pretty nice too, was it not? Scheduled to graduate in May with a degree in interdisciplinary studies, he is escorted by his mother, Melissa, and his sister, Frederica. Ladies and gentlemen, number 32, Fred Miller. One more time for Melissa, Frederica, and Fred Miller. Our final senior, and they're getting ready for him right here on the bench, has rewritten, and you don't get to say this very often, has rewritten the upstate record books and will go down as one of the best players in school history. This individual burst onto the scene in 2011 and turned in one of the greatest freshman seasons in school history on his way to being named the 2012 A-Sun Freshman of the Year. His production continued to rise in each of the following 3 seasons, and he will finish his career at Upstate ranked in the top 5 in almost every major offensive category. He has especially made his senior season one for all of us to remember, as he has led the Atlantic Sun in scoring since the first game of the year, and has turned in 15 games, I guess we got to make that 16 now, of at least 20 points or more. He had 8 straight 20-point games in ASUN competition, and earlier this season scored a career-high 39 points on the road, which ranks as 3rd most in Upstate history in a single game. And the most amazing thing in watching him has been everything he has done has seemed to come at the right moment for the Spartans. In that game in which he scored 39, he had 8 3-pointers and led Upstate back from an 11-point deficit in the big win at North Florida. He's on pace to finish 10th all-time in ASUN history with over 260 3-pointers made. But his tenacious and relentless defense is what makes this senior a complete player. How many times have we heard this from so many people? He never takes a play off and has an uncanny knack for stepping into passing lanes and anticipating exactly where the ball is going to be. He has over 60 steals and ranks among the top 10 in the nation in steals per game. But despite all his achievements on the court, this individual is active not only in the Spartanburg community, but also in his hometown. He donates countless hours to community service projects as an active member of the community and holds a leadership role with the Upstate Fellowship of Christian Athletes chapter. He is scheduled to graduate in May with a degree in political science and is escorted by his parents, David and Debbie. Also sitting in the stands are his grandparents, Dot and David Woodby, and his brother Sam. Ladies and gentlemen, number 5, Ty Green. And the best news of all for these 3 seniors is that with the work they put in tonight, there's a very good chance you're going to see them again here next week. Please join me now in welcoming to the microphone the head coach of the Upstate Spartans, Eddie Payne.
First of all, I'd like to thank you all for coming tonight. It's a little inclement, I understand, so really appreciate you coming, appreciate you staying to honor this special group of kids. These guys, everything's been said. I just would say they kind of transformed our program where we were struggling, single-digit wins, making a transition, and they came in here as freshmen, and we had the best improvement in the country with an all-freshman backcourt. That is pretty much unheard of in college basketball. So we just thank you for coming, and we thank you for helping us honor these guys. We're going to close out with a video about all 3 of them, and I urge you to drive home safely. Thanks for being here. Thank you.
Todd didn't get to play the second half. He was going to go in. I said, no. Go in.
Drive by Green, hits the floater. Young man's got a lot of basketball savvy, high basketball IQ.
away by the guard, Green.
Green, yes. He's got it 2 on 3. Green takes it in, reverse layup is good.
Here's Green for 3. The 200th three-pointer he has made in his upstate career.
10 on a shot clock. Blessing spin move and falling away. Nice move by Mario Blessing.
Blessing. Yep.
Blessing, left hand shot, good.
Fred Miller for the jam.
This is Miller all the way in off the left hand.
Working our way down here in a second. Pack up and go get warm somewhere. Next Tuesday night. Yeah. I mean, the way I read it, we're here Tuesday, right? Yeah, we are. I never want to say that before. Right. I believe opposite. The way I read it,
Right. As either of the three are, well, I don't think we can be the 4 now. We would have had to lose 2.